Hi everybody, Chef Casey here with another recipe from the Patwin Kitchen at the beautiful olive mill up in Brooks, California. We're going to be doing, kind of highlighting some of a local berry. We're going to be doing some fresh blackberries. And I kind of wanted to showcase them today in a nice beautiful crumble. And we're going to utilize our olive oil again, of course. We're going to make an olive oil topping, a little crumble to go on top of the blackberry. And I'm going to finish it all off with some olive oil ice cream. You want to coat the berries first, so let's get the sugar in the bowl. A little cornstarch to help thicken all the juices coming down when the berries start to cook. Kind of stir that up. I always like to add a little bit of salt when I'm baking. Just go ahead and add the berries. And we'll kind of just gently toss them. Get them nice and coated with all the sugar, the cornstarch. And what I like to do is I'll add a little bit of olive oil on the bottom of my ramekins. So I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice. And as you can tell, you start to see the berries, everything start to crystallize. The granulated sugar is gonna help break down, it's coarse, so it's gonna help break down the outside of the berry, the flesh of the berry. Now you can just take your berries, right on top, right in the bowl. Okay, let's set this aside and let's start making our crumble. So let's start with a little bit of flour. This is just regular AP flour. Do a little bit of salt again, a little brown sugar. Kind of mix that in. We'll go back to the olive oil, kind of just work it in. So there we go, it's starting to come together. The right ratio of oils in there. You know you have the sugar in there, you got the flour. And as you can see how it's breaking apart, right there's your crumble, right? It's crumbling, right? So let's just put this right on top. You're really just looking to get the crumble cooked. At this point, I would take your cobblers, your little crisps, get them on a sheet tray, get them into the oven, 350, 10-15 minutes. If it's nice and brown, that means you're good to go. I'm gonna finish mine with a little olive oil ice cream, with a little more olive oil, and a little thyme. So here we have it. Wild blackberry crisp, olive oil topping, olive oil ice cream. Enjoy. Thank you for tuning in. This is Chef Casey from Recipes from the Patwin Kitchen. Thank you. Hi everyone, Chef Casey here at the Olive Mill here at Seca Hills. We're going to do another recipe from our Recipes from the Patwin Kitchen. We're going to be showcasing some local king salmon. We're going to pair that salmon with a little bit of a different berry. It's an elderberry. Now elderberry isn't as fluid, isn't out there as prominent. You might see it in jams or a syrup or maybe dried, used as a tea. But elderberry was a substantial berry when it came to this region. So it really sustained local tribes in this area when they were eating, cooking for nourishment. I'm gonna make a little elderberry relish to go on top of the salmon. I'm also gonna do a warm potato salad. Now with salmon wasn't prevalent in the Cape Valley in this region, but it would come down through the coast. It would come down through trade. So it would come down from the coast and they would bring it in, they would trade it for quail or game or venison or any type of medicine, or even elderberry was a big trading market. So first, a little bit of oil from I'm gonna use a little bit of arbequina. Arbequina is my go-to oil. I use it in everything. It stands up to cooking, frying, baking. Hands down, one of the best oils I've come across. So let's start with a little bit of shallot. We're gonna do a little bit of leek. Get some aromatics going first. So throw your leek in there, kind of get that sauteing. A little bit of shallot. Now this potato salad is not, when you hear potato salad, you're thinking, oh, it's going to be mayonnaise based. It's going to be a big, heavy kind of salad. This kind of potato salad is going to be very light. The only fat I'm going to use is I'm going to use olive oil, and that's it to coat it. Lots of aromatics, lots of herbs. So we're going to do a little roasted garlic. We'll do a little bit of regular onion. I think I'll throw a little bit of thyme in there. So you want to kind of create the base for the dish. Now the salmon is going to cook very quick. So you kind of want to get your base ready. Now this salmon can be done in multiple ways. Traditionally, it's usually skewered on the stick and over an open fire, campfire style. Or you could put it in the oven. You could put it underneath the ground, wrapped in some sort of leaf. Cooked on top of a hot rock. So you just kind of wilt your onion. You know, kind of get it nice and translucent. While that's going, you can cut your potatoes. For this dish, I'm going to cut my potatoes right down the middle in circles. I'll do a little bit of lemon, salt and pepper. Do a little more salt. Do a little pepper. So once those are going, let's put a little dill in there. Then we'll start to break down our mushroom. And when you add your mushroom, make sure to put more oil, because that mushroom is going to absorb everything that's in the pan. And I'm not looking for a full saute on these mushrooms. I just kind of want to get them warmed. And while that's warming, I'm going to take some of my miner's lettuce, my spinach, and do a nice rough chop. Do a little olive oil, a little salt, pepper. The salt will kind of help bring some of that moisture out of the spinach. We can go ahead and add a little more herb. We can do a little parsley. Looks good. You're going to add this to your lettuce, and that's going to help soften. It's going to help soften your spinach. At this point, we could do some lemon. Get a little acid in there. Once you have it stirred up, let that sit. And then the heat from the potato, the heat from the mushroom should help wilt that spinach down. We can move that to the side. So I'm going to season the salmon once I have it down on the pan. We're going to do it skin side down. So as it's cooking skin side down, it's going to cook through the salmon. The heat's going to come up through it. And while we have it in the pan, let's do a little salt and pepper. And then I'm going to brush it with a little balsamic on top. And what this balsamic is going to do is going to add some sweetness to the salmon, because salmon's very buttery. So you just kind of brush it on while it's cooking. It's kind of the same technique when they smoke salmon. Smoked salmon, they're usually brushing it through. And while that's cooking, you can go back to your lettuce, go back to your salad, give it a stir. See, nice and smoky coming out, so that means they're still retaining heat. A beautiful salad. And so again with the salmon, like I said, was very, very valuable. They used every part of it. It was traded. It's a nice gathering dish. Families would come together, tribes come together. You want to make sure you get that skin nice and crispy. It's cooking evenly through the salmon, but not too fast where the skin's burning on the bottom and you're not getting any cook on top. So I'm gonna do a little more balsamic on top. I'm gonna just keep basting it with the balsamic. And this is our pomegranate balsamic. I swear by this stuff. This is probably one of the best balsamics I've had. We use it in all our baking, all our sauces, meats, cheeses, our charcuterie trays, all our sandwiches up here at the deli. Just checking to see if it's nice and how the skin is on the bottom. Skin's beautiful. We can place that salmon right on top. Let that kind of rest. Let it rest on top of your salad. So now your salad is going to be incorporated some of the runoff juice from the salmon. So you're going to get a little bit of salty. Definitely some sweet coming through with the balsamic. Then let's start with our little sauce to put on top. So again, we're going to do elderberry, a little more olive oil, some of the shallot, we're going to do a little coriander seed. Going to toast this. I'm going to add a little blueberry. Blueberry is in the same family as the elderberry. So if you can't find elderberry, blueberry will work. It'll work perfectly for this application. And I'm going to add my elderberry. These are dried, but I will kind of want to toast them. Throw a little salt. I'm going to skip the pepper. I'm going to do a little red wine vinegar. Let that cook. I'm going to do a little more balsamic vinegar. So that red wine vinegar is going to have a little bit of the acid. It's going to help bring out the sweetness in the berries. And you just kind of want to wait until those elderberries kind of get reconstituted. Now, if all you could find is an elderberry syrup or a jam, that would work too. At that stage, I would do the blueberries how you are now, and then add that elderberry jam to this. And then that red wine vinegar is going to help loosen it up a little bit, break it down, so it'll turn into a beautiful sauce. Then we're going to finish with a little bit of honey. Even more sweet. Yeah. Looks perfect. Let's give it a taste just to see if everything's there. Yeah, it's beautiful. Blueberries popping. You get the salt, the acid from the red wine vinegar, the sweetness from the balsamic. So you could take this like this. What I would like to do, I just kind of spoon it on top of the salmon, let some of that liquid run. So what you have is a pan roasted salmon, nice warm potato salad, elderberry chutney on top. Thank you for tuning in. This is Chef Casey for another recipe from the Patwin Kitchen. Thank you.